The time by Sagicor Bank is
7 p.m.
Watch Walking on the Word with Apostle Professor J. Andrew Scott every Sunday morning at 9:30 a.m.
An apostle, have it? Cause 3 contracts to be released to you. So as of tonight, the realm of the supernatural is active and activated to cause 3 contracts. Pow! 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 In Jesus' name.
You fly up and fly.
Urge calm in Trelawny. Price of the polls, political financing under scrutiny. Spike in youth unemployment. Labour Ministry says it's working to combat the malady. In the business report, Fortunate Jamaica warns of advancing AI threat. For traditional flavors this week, Mariwata from Trenchtown to the world. And later on in sports, Jamaica's Commonwealth Games campaign gets underway in Glasgow in the sport of lawn bowl. Hello from Kingston, Jamaica. This is CVM News at 7 for Friday, July 24, 2026. I'm Carolyn Brown. Thanks so much for joining us. The police are continuing their investigations into the sexual assault and murder of 10-year-old Shani Coke in Troy, Trelawny. The child's body was found in bushes shortly after 6 p.m. on Tuesday with her throat slashed. In a crime that has shocked the community and sparked public outrage, Commanding Officer for the Trelawny Police Division, Superintendent Trelawny Campbell, says the Jamaica Constabulary Force has since provided support to the grieving family while urging residents to remain calm, allow the investigation to proceed and maintain law and order within the community.
Today, the management team of Trelawny Division, supported by CSS headquarters, visited the family member of 10 years old Shani Coke, who was killed in the community of Tyre District, Troy, Trelawny. We offered our deepest condolences and support. We understand that this is a very difficult time, not only for the family members and residents, but for the entire country. We are enlisting the support of residents for law and order to be maintained in the community. Yesterday, we had persons blocking the road and causing further instability. Please, I am imploring, desist from blocking the road and bringing further instability to your community.
To other news now, a comprehensive audit is currently being conducted to ensure Jamaica's major political parties and their candidates are fully compliant with the country's disclosure laws. Following a recent report published by the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, the ECJ, the country's Director of Elections, Glaspole Brown, notes donations amounted to over $1.7 billion in the 3 months ahead of the September 2025 general elections. We get more from Renee Gordon.
As more than $1 billion in donations was pumped into the political campaign ahead of the last general elections, questions are again being asked about whether Jamaica's campaign finance laws are strong enough to protect the electoral process from the undue influence. Despite the ongoing concerns about campaign financing, Jamaica's Director of Elections, Glaspole Brown, maintains the country's disclosure framework meets the legal standard for transparency.
Jamaica's current political financing system, from the Commission's perspective, based on the law, can be classified or should be classified as being transparent. The Commission has is mandated, as what was done recently, published a report in one of the newspapers in accordance with Section 52 BR of the Representation of the People's Act, amended Act in 2016, and it seeks to enhance this transparency.
The Director of Elections explained oversight does not end with the filing of donation reports, pointing to measures now underway to ensure compliance.
There's a current comprehensive auditing taking place to ensure that the political parties and candidates are fully compliant with the disclosure requirement and that all donations were properly declared. The current law gives the ECJ sufficient authority to monitor campaign financing.
While the Electoral Office of Jamaica, EOJ boss, believes the current framework is adequate, he says additional changes have not been ruled out.
Jamaicans currently have access to the information, but this is within the legislative framework of the Access to Information Act, the Data Protection Act, and ROPA. At the end of the audit on campaign financing activities for the September 3rd, 2025 election, the ECJ will decide if there is a need for any change to be made to the Act in order to strengthen transparency and to enhance public confidence.
Renee Gordon, CVM News.
Jamaica's current unemployment rate stands at 3.7% compared to the previous historic low of 3.3% recorded in 2025. While for some young people, finding a job is more difficult than it is for their counterparts, the latest Labour Force survey reveals that youth unemployment has increased. Kevin Black has been looking at the numbers.
Data from the Statistical Institute of Jamaica stating the country's unemployment rate for the second quarter of the year stands at 3.7%. However, from the same data, youth unemployment has climbed to 11.7% or 21,000, up from the 10.6% in the last quarter of 2025. The figures suggest that despite a relatively strong labor market, many young Jamaicans are still struggling to secure a job. Vice President of the Jamaica Employers Federation, Judan Bowden, says there is no single reason behind the rise of youth unemployment.
Youth unemployment being almost 4 times the overall unemployment level is not limited to a single factor. I think it reflects a combination of educational, labor market, and socio-economic challenges that we are facing. Some of the contributors are skills mismatch. There's a gap between qualifications earned and the skills in demand, particularly in key sectors, digital, technology, or technical and manufacturing.
Mr. Bowden says many school leavers lack the practical, technical, and behavioral skills required by the job market. He also points to limited work experience as another reason.
So the reality of the situation, there is a disconnect between the available opportunities and the workforce readiness. And so it's important that all come to the table. So young people need to know what skills they need to build, what experiences they need to seek, and how they develop their reputation for reliability. Employers like ourselves need to create the pathways into work, by hiring more for potential and investing in development.
Mr. Bowden believes educational institutions, employers, and the government must work closely to ensure training better reflects the needs of the labor market. His comments come days after a parliamentary debate about the need for tertiary programs to align better with labor market demand. Public Administration and Appropriations Committee (PAAC) Chairman Peter Bunting is calling for students to receive better career guidance and for tertiary programs to better reflect labor market demand. Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
Meanwhile, in response, the Labour and Social Security Ministry told CVM News the impact of Hurricane Melissa has been a major factor behind the rise in youth unemployment. The ministry also says many young workers were disproportionately affected because they were unemployed in sectors such as tourism, wholesale, retail, and construction, which were among the hardest hit. The Labour and Social Ministry stresses it will continue to expand its youth employment initiatives to help connect young job seekers with training and employment opportunities. Now, as the country experiences extreme heat, doctors are encouraging Jamaicans to recognize the warning signs of heat stroke and act quickly to save lives. More in this report from Shoshana Sankey.
Health experts are warning Jamaicans not to underestimate the dangers of extreme heat, saying heat stroke is a life-threatening medical emergency that can quickly become fatal if left untreated. Emergency medicine specialist Dr. Sasha Gay Bunzuela says heat stroke occurs when prolonged exposure to high temperatures causes the body's natural cooling mechanism to fail.
Heat stroke in itself is an acute life-threatening condition, right? That is characterized by extreme exposure to high temperatures, leading to a patient presenting with hyperthermia or high temperatures above 40 or higher degrees Celsius, and that is usually associated with some signs of altered mentation, meaning there's some neurological dysfunction happening. Now, how does it differ from heat exhaustion? So the mechanism by which both develop is similar. So basically, the person is exposed over a prolonged time to high temperatures. The body tries to regulate itself by increasing vasodilation, meaning the blood vessels get a little wider so you can sweat to cool down. Now, that as well as the heart rate might increase.
Dr. Miller also identifies the groups most vulnerable to extreme heat, urging them to take extra precautions during hot weather.
The extremes of age: children less than 4 years old, the elderly, the immunocompromised, the patient who has cardiac issues or heart problems, the hypertensive, the patient who is on what we call beta blockers, so those who are on medication to slow their heart rate, because one of the mechanisms of the body trying to correct itself is to speed up the heart rate, so these people cannot do it. The alcoholic, the demented person, these people who, even if they feel thirsty, they're unable to go drink some water, for example. They're the highest risk patients. Also, the athletes and the teenagers who are out and playing in the sun, and military personnel are also high-risk patients.
The ministry is advising workers to stay hydrated by drinking cool water frequently, especially before, during, and after physical activity.
Ministry advises outdoor workers to hydrate often with cool water, especially in the hot and humid weather. Drink more water than normal before, during, and after physical activity, and take fluid breaks at least every 15 minutes. Limit sugar, sweetened drinks, and alcohol, and avoid the sun during the middle of the day by scheduling work from morning and evening when possible. And seek shade. Wear lightweight, light-colored, loose-fitting clothes and made of fabric that is breathable, example, cotton. And wear a hat, as well as take breaks and watch for symptoms like dizziness, headache, nausea, and muscle cramps, as these are the symptoms related to heat exhaustion.
Sushana Sankey, CVM News.
And we'll have more CVM News at 7 right after this.
Effective Saturday, August 1st, 2026, there will be.
Before the first patty is made, there are hands that raise it, hands that grow it, hands that move it, hands that bake it, and hands that serve it. For Jamaica, by Jamaica. Through challenges and changing seasons, they stood strong. They built with us. They believed. To every farmer, every team member, every partner, thank you.
Come back, we could don't have them be. Learn about agriculture, have fun and laugh with the whole family. Don't have them be. Come back, we could don't have them be. Are the biggest agriculture show in the Caribbean, say July 31 to August. We have to have a whole heap of livestock on display. In this village, for the picnic them play. Come enjoy the hype road, them the gospel show, and get your heart redeemed. Run, come buy your plants and produce and witness the crowning of your farm queen. Don't have them be. Admission adults 1,500, children 600.
Get a T-tag and lock in your toll rates for the next 90 days. Effective Saturday, August 1st, 2026. There will be some changes to the toll rates at the Portmore, Spanish Town, Vineyards, Maypen, Tollgate Mainline, and Tollgate Ramp toll plazas. But with a T-tag, your rates will remain unchanged until October 31, 2026. Plus, all Class 1 and Class 2 T-tag customers will get their 10th weekly trip through the same toll plaza free. Visit transjamhighways.com for the upcoming rate changes. Don't pay more at the toll booths. Get your T-tag today from any manually operated toll booth on Transjam Highways.
Welcome back. Thanks so much for staying with us. Emergency work is in progress after a culvert failure caused a partial road collapse along the major corridor in St. Thomas. For more, we hear from Jaden Henry.
Emergency repairs are underway after a fire-damaged culvert caused part of the roadway to collapse, renewing concerns about improper garbage disposal.
This culvert was some 7 feet below where I'm now standing, so it was fairly deep. And had it not been for the road caving in at one point, we would not have been aware of the situation. And so I really want to urge Jamaicans to exercise care, to exercise caution when they are using fires.
Mr. Shaw also highlighted that carelessly burning garbage can destroy underground pipes and undermine the integrity of the roadway at the same time.
To burn the garbage, causing the HDP pipes, these are plastic pipes, to be burnt from beneath the road, which really is a dangerous thing because it can be fatal if persons are traveling along a particular corridor, not knowing that there is nothing holding the embankment, the road in such a circumstance.
The NWA communications manager also accepted that flooding remains a concern.
There is going to be the likelihood of flooding based on the intensity of the rainfall and the lay of the land. The systems that we have installed will certainly help, and they have aided in a significant way the runoff.
In the meantime, President of the East St. Thomas Taxi Association, Kurt Brown, says the road isn't safe for travel and is urging quick repairs given the importance of the route between Kingston and Port Antonio.
Urging the China Harbour or the person or the relevant authority who is responsible for the contracting of the road to come and fix this problem, because we don't want any accident at this time. So as you might see, it is not looking good, and not even for walk foot, not just driving alone, even person who's walking, it can be hazardous for them.
Jaden Henry, CVM News.
The Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARFA, officially opened its antimicrobial resistance AMR regional laboratory this week. The facility will enable faster testing of patient samples and provide recommendations on the most appropriate antimicrobial treatment. Carla Ramdeen tells us more.
As Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton explains, antimicrobial resistance is one of the world's most pressing public health threats. He notes that millions of deaths globally are associated with drug-resistant infection each year, and says Jamaica is strengthening its response through improved surveillance, testing, and public education. Previously, samples had to be sent overseas for testing, resulting in longer wait time for results and treatment decisions.
The things I would want to challenge us on, even while we celebrate this very important achievement, is that we need a strategic plan, a stronger focus on how the public is educated around this, what is classified as a silent pandemic. The establishment of the lab will significantly strengthen our ability to identify resistant organisms more quickly, improve surveillance, guide appropriate treatment decisions, provide valuable evidence to support national policy and clinical practice.
Dr. Tufton says while the new lab will improve the detection of illnesses and help guide the appropriate treatment, better health outcomes also depend on patients taking their medications exactly as prescribed.
It's one thing to detect via the lab services. It's an entirely different challenge, and perhaps even let's not say a more important challenge, but certainly a preferred challenge to overcome, which is to prevent and to ensure that sufficient citizens of our country recognizes the importance of taking your medication regime and the risks associated with not taking it.
Executive Director of the Caribbean Public Health Agency, Dr. Lisa Indar, says the launch of the Regional Referral Laboratory is a major boost for the region. She notes that Jamaica previously had to send samples to Trinidad for testing, but the new facility will reduce costs and cut turnaround times, with results now available in approximately 40 hours.
So overall, we are building the capacity for Jamaica and all the islands around us because we had a regional referral labs. So countries, including Jamaica, can be able to send isolate or samples to us, and they can be tested faster. So it's faster accessibility.
Carla Ramdeen, CVM News.
Business mogul Michael Lee Chin is urging black investors to embrace patience and strategy in emerging markets. Addressing a black YPO conference in Montego Bay, he told global business leaders playing the long game is one of the keys to sustainable success.
Playing the long game is one of the many strategic moves investors were urged to make by business mogul Michael Lee Chin as he addressed the Black YPO conference in Montego Bay recently. The event, which pulled black investors and business leaders from all across the globe to the island, saw Mr. Lee Chin sharing wisdom on how to thrive in emerging markets.
The only way a business can be long-term sustainable is if it takes care of the society within the community, the society, the country within which it is doing business. The only way we can be long-term sustainable. So we're going to talk about making sure that the businesses that you're stewarding today have the foundation to be long-term sustainable. Because there are some characteristics, there are some principles that if we're offside of them, the business will not, your business, my business will not be long-term sustainable.
Lee Chin, who has long been associated with the 10 Commandments of Wealth, offered a twist, citing instead the 10 Commandments of Business Failure. While the first 6 have been widely discussed, he warned that the remaining 4 must not be overlooked.
Number 7, put experts, put your faith in experts. Number 9, love your bureaucracy. Number 10, send mixed messages. And number 11, be afraid of the future. Do you want to be a terrorist? That's what you do. Alright? So this, obviously, none of us want to be a terrorist. So all we have to do, we want to build a long-term sustainable business, we just invert.
But successful leaders are called to do more than simply invest by becoming capital allocators, dispatching resources with purpose and intention.
Warren Buffett once said, when he was asked, how come you're so wealthy? How did you grow your net worth from zero in 1956 to 200 billion or whatever it is? He said, I'm a capital allocator. So young presidents, you have to be a capital allocator. That's what you are. You wear two caps. I'm a capital allocator. I'm a better, and as a capital allocator, I'm a better investor because I'm a businessman.
The business magnate closed by reminding participants that wealth creation is not just about money, but about building enterprises that endure.
For traditional flavors, it's time to learn more about an Irish Premier product straight out of Trenchtown.
No need to try getting it from the moon. People are falling in love with this stress reliever here in Jamaica that's calming and relaxing.
Not flavored water, water with flavor.
Water with flavor.
First in the world, by the way, for that category.
Some customers even use it as an ingredient because of its roots to the cannabis family of plants.
You know, those article brethren on the corner hanging around and just watching them football and having fun. You can tell them that none of that plant that we're talking about not in that thing.
No,
form.
No, me never said that.
In the original form.
Hey, we only deal with original and authentic.
Okay.
But every company, every product has its trade secret. Not true?
Yes.
So I'm not going to come on here and tell you the formulation.
No.
But at the same time, it's very important to know that this is in keeping with the regulations.
That is it. Say it again.
It's in keeping with the regulation. Because you meet that, you can't sell it, you can't export it, and it just remains kind of like a underground.
So if we drink one of this, we just feel airy and nice and...
Well, like with anything, it depends on the amount of the active ingredient. So you wouldn't say to drink one. That would be false promotion, but it's a habit and a lifestyle over time, and you will get those benefits.
So is it safe to say take off? The thing you take off?
Yes.
All about?
Yeah.
All across Jamaica?
It's amazing.
Everywhere.
Jamaicans are always looking for something new, different, but still rooted to the culture. And Jamaicans have to know though.
Yes.
Who make it, where it's made. It not gonna get me sick. It passed all of the health checks and everything, and that it is pure and it's not going to injure me in any way. And we have gone through, we have done the homework. We have had the best scientists, best labs, manufactured in a state-of-the-art plant, by the way. So,
this is it.
Seal of approval.
This is it.
Marijuana to the world.
According to the Agency for Inner City Renewal Chairman, as with good cuisine, your senses are put to the test.
Smell.
There's something in
like
this bottle.
Food, the smell should tell you from you down the road, should announce what you're about to enjoy. Right? Also with food, the sight, another sense. So look at it. Then that's a third sense, which is the taste.
It smells and tastes similar. Hey.
Still more to come after this. Stay with us, please.
KFC Summer Bucket. This KFC bucket deal has you thinking chicken. Get the summer bucket for $4,700.
The time by KFC is
7:30.
Could I drive out fresh in a MG ride with a staycation all inclusive flex? Yeah. Heart of Jamily cash. Yes. Smart TV, PS5, and home upgrade.
Turn up your winnings this summer with Digicel. Sign up or switch to postpaid or Digicel Plus. Buy a SIM. Top up with 5 bills or more. Buy a 7-day plan or higher. A smartphone deal or just pay your bill. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Promotion period June 24 to September 5, 2026. Visit DigicelJamaica.com for terms and conditions.
Before the first patty is baked, they are hands that grow what we need. For Jamaica, by Jamaicans. Through every season and challenge, they built with us. They believed. To every farmer, thank you.
As we welcome you back, it's time to go to the Business Report with Joel Crossgill.
Lots to share with you in the business report today. While data protection has become everyone's business, for a relatively small but growing number, it is now a professional imperative. As the global digital threat landscape evolves, where human frailties and systemic shortfalls are being leveraged by malicious actors with enhanced capabilities. Emmanuel Oscar, Senior Engineering Manager for Fortinet English Caribbean, has issued a caution for businesses who seek to incorporate AI into their operations without placing cybersecurity as a primary strategic concern.
From the perspective of the threat actors, it's business as usual. Ransomware worked in the past. Right, so they will continue to leverage that business model compounded with artificial intelligence. And as we move into the age of intelligence, what's happening, many organizations are lacking the set of controls that necessary. Many are moving ahead, putting different models, artificial intelligence model, without understanding the consequences or the radical risk that's involved. And responding to an IT incident is different than responding to an AI incident, and many organizations have not made that adjustment yet.
On July 10, 2020, Jamaica's Data Protection Act became law. By December 1, 2021, Jamaica's first Information Commissioner was appointed. On March 4, 2024, the first set of regulations under the Act were gazetted, and in 2025, Jamaica recorded 46.7 million cyber attacks across both public and private sectors, some of which resulted in the exposure of personal data, a scenario Garfield Gordon, Senior Systems Engineer for Fortinet Jamaica, suggests organizations must be prepared to face.
For many companies that need to get cyber insurance, they need to put a value to the data. So they don't treat the data as an asset, they value it, and then they say, okay, if I have a loss, this is how much I'm going to lose. Most companies don't value their data. They only recognize its value when it's lost, when you no longer have access to it. Data privacy is where we look at the personal identifiable information. We try to curtail it from leaving the organization. Activities that customers need to do to perform is what we call data classification. So this is where they look at their documentation and they put a tag like confidential, highly confidential, public. And as such, from the data security side, we can now look at those tags All right, so the general terminology is metadata.
However, as Emmanuel Oscar explains, individuals within organizations are often unwittingly informing cyber criminals through their own interactions with AI technologies.
A lot of persons will utilize tools like ChatGPT as an example, and they will, research information for productivity purposes. The bad side of it is they will take intellectual property and put it into these Gen AI tools, which then it stores it as a repository, right? Because artificial intelligence is always learning, and it considers this to be training data. And as such, when somebody else goes subsequent to that and search for information, then it will produce that information that was presented there.
You take the data, you train the model. So as an attacker, I don't need to steal the data. The model will give it to me if I ask it, if their proper guardrails are not available. Artificial intelligence is the breach itself, right?
The growing sophistication of generative AI has also expanded the theater of operational threats, with executives in the crosshairs.
We've had instances where people have called family members, they'll do a video call, and it looks like your family member, it sounds like your family member. That technology is improving significantly. Entities, whether government, state actors, or threat actors, they're using these facilities to promote situations like deepfake, infiltrating social media. We spoke about the compromised credentials earlier. So today, one of the workarounds is to force you to do the two-factor authentication or multi-factor authentication, where you use a separate device and enter a code. Right, so these are some of the mitigation steps that are coming forward. As to deepfake itself, maybe we just have to use keywords that when we're going to engage in a conversation, we have a keyword that we use.
And that was your business report. I'm Joel Crossgill.
And from Business Report, we go to Matthew Wright for regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. The Barbados Police Service is raising concern over a growing number of fraudulent license plates across the country. CBC Barbados tells us more.
We're seeing a number of cases where persons are using number plates that are already in the system. And we want to advise persons that if you realize that your number plates are not on your vehicle, that you ought to make a report to the police so that an investigation can be carried out in relation to those stolen number plates, because plates are being reused, unfortunately.
Now to India, where the Cockroach Janta Party that began as a satirical youth movement just a few months ago has now emerged as a rallying point for disillusioned young people across the country. Here's France 24 with an inside look.
Despite a constant stream of graduates emerging from India's colleges each year, millions of highly qualified workers are grappling with a squeezed job market, as well as continuing